Before every season, it's fun to make bold predictions. You can really just throw anything out there, but what if you can back it up with numbers, storylines, and use trends in history to make a good case? Well, that's exactly what I want to do today, and I believe this year the Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to become so unstoppable and better than any other year we've seen it. And the biggest change is going to be taking the ball out of Mahomes' hands more often, while Clyde Edwards-Helaire goes for a career year and puts up insane numbers. Mahomes is the most talented quarterback of all time. Why on God's green earth would you want him to throw the ball less? Well, it all has to do with how defenses play the Chiefs in their playoff games, their offseason moves, and Andy Reid as a coach. And today I want to break this all down for you. At some point in life, we all mature and realize that what the older people were saying that we didn't get at one point makes a lot of sense. Mahomes is now going to his fourth year as a starting quarterback and has already accomplished so much. Regular season MVP, Super Bowl win, and Super Bowl MVP, all of the records for fastest to this number or that number, but in those first 3 years, he has lost Super Bowl hopes at the hands of a 40-plus-year-old quarterback twice. How is that even possible? He can throw the ball twice as far, twice as hard, he's faster, he extends plays and makes SportsCenter top 10 plays every single week. And I think what Mahomes has realized after these years is you could throw for 60-plus touchdowns and 8,000 yards in a season, but the only one thing that will actually make you happy at the end of the season is hosting the Lombardi Trophy at all costs. And this is a huge reason why I think the Chiefs are going to invest a lot more of their game plan in their running game and why their offseason moves reflect that. First, they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round of last year's NFL draft, which is very telling because that is not a commonplace for running backs anymore. But also the Chiefs offseason has consisted of beefing up the offensive line, and yes, this goes both for the run and pass blocking, but it was mainly the Chiefs addressing their clear weaknesses when they played the Bucs and in their past playoff games. The Chiefs faced the Bucs in the regular season, had a very close game, but it started as a blowout. The Bucs made a halftime adjustment. They went from playing a one high safety to two high safeties. Helping over the top took away a lot of the Chiefs' deep ball threats and where they love to attack you and score quick. The Bucs had rangy and tall safeties to cover a ton of ground, and they kept the strategy in the Super Bowl, and we all know how that went. They were able to commit another person to coverage, but they were also to give Mahomes a ton of pressure while only rushing 4. That is a massive problem and the worst of both worlds for the Chiefs. Well, how do you force a team out of a too high shell? Well, you run them out of it. You spread out the field and find the numbers advantage and attack it. But unfortunately, the Chiefs were never able to threaten the Bucs with the run game. And in the end, I really think this is what lost them the Super Bowl. Mahomes was forced to take massive dropbacks and throw up prayers because they got pressure and able to hold up on the back end with a favorable passing coverage. And this isn't a big deal against 95% of the teams they're going to play, but this all has to do with the teams they're going to be facing in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl that are going to give them a ton of troubles with this. Let's talk about who Clyde is as a player and how Andy Reid is going to utilize him this year. Clyde is 5'7", 205 pounds, but he plays like an absolute tenacious young bull. 1, he is very hard to see behind the offensive line, and 2, he is super hard to bring down. He has amazing balance and such a low center of gravity. If you hit him, he can usually always find a way to stay on his feet and keep running. On top of that, he's very elusive, and it's super hard to hit him square on. Above all else, he is an amazing receiving back on multiple levels too. He is very good in open space, so it's just always a good option to hit him on a swing route and let him do his thing. But as you'll see, he runs routes like an actual receiver as well. It has a very similar feel to when you have a running quarterback in the run game. It's truly 11 on 11 because you have to count for the read option. When Clyde is in the backfield, you have to account for him as a true 5th receiving option. Also, you have to be aware of screens when he's hiding behind all those huge linemen. And this is really scary to think because this is going to go so well with their passing game. And just a few seasons ago, the Chiefs went a full season without a passing touchdown to a receiver. Andy Reid has always been great at utilizing his running backs. We look at the success he had with LaShawn McCoy, Jamal Charles, Kareem Hunt, and Brian Westbrook, and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is about to do for this team is be the missing hole to make them the most unstoppable offense of all time. He's going to give them better clock control, but most importantly, he's going to be an effective runner like I think he will be based on who he is and an improved offensive line. This is going to create a huge advantage in the passing game too. They're really going to have to start playing more aggressively, put another body in the box, and it's really going to open up play action and punish linebackers for creeping up. For reference, the Chiefs were a middle of the pack running team this year. They had the 24th most rushing attempts, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire was still able to rush for a very impressive 803 yards, rushing for 4.4 yards per attempt in his 13 games he played. With this new idea, I expect him to be rushing around 1,200 yards, which will put him among the top few running backs in the league, and I can also see him receiving for over 400 yards yards when he was around 300 this season. For me, this makes a lot of sense what the Chiefs are looking to do, and after I saw their first playoff exit to Brady, they really need to address the defensive side of the ball, and now I think this season they're bulking up their run game, all the while still having the most elite and dynamic passing attack in the entire NFL. And trust me, if anyone can pull this off, it's going to be a more seasoned Patrick Mahomes and the offensive genius that is Andy Reid. But let me know what you guys think. What season do you think the Chiefs are going to have? I really think they're going to focus a lot more on the run this year. I think Mahomes realized that, hey, I'm losing to people that aren't as nearly as dynamic as we are, but they're running the ball, they're controlling the clock, they can control the pace of the game. I think they're really going to focus on the run game, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be so dynamic at the backfield, especially as a receiver option. And for all you fantasy people out there, listen up. I think he's about to have a breakout year in fantasy as well. Do not sleep on this pick. I absolutely love him. He's become a true third down back, especially with his ability in the passing game. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like the video if you like videos like these. Make sure to comment down below what you think, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoy daily sport content. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you want me to cover next, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.